Now she's working as a director in Dallas,
Cool.
an English director in preschool in Dallas.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, she told me that she was in Dallas and that she's having a nice job over there. So it's pretty cool. Ah, she's gone. Okay. That's okay. Let me share my screen. Vivian, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. All righty.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
No, worries not. This internet thing it has mine on their own. Anyways, okay, so today's class is about, okay, first of all, every class is being recorded and is being broadcasted in YouTube for your benefit. I mean, you can check it out later on and blah, blah, blah. No? So it's
And study
so
from there.
Exactly. Anyways, I introduce myself. Vivian knows me, but I'm Gerson. You know me because of Emiliana, and I've been an English teacher for too long now,
Okay.
years, and I am Cambridge speaking examiner, Cambridge TKT administrator, TOEFL administrator, senior administrator, bunch of things. Anyways, but you just call me Gerson, call me teacher, Lord.
Okay.
And I will be here, right?
Okay.
Okay. So today's class we'll be talking about grammar, right, Vivian? We're talking about how grammar is important in class, how grammar is important in our life. Now, you as an English teacher, you need to know how to present your grammar. Yes. Let me continue this. So if I say, Christina, if I say grammar, what comes to your mind? For you, what is grammar?
Grammar is like organizing your words correctly in order to inform an idea complete and in the best way you can express it.
Good. Very good. What are you, Vivian? For you, what is grammar?
Is the structure, the sentence, the correct?
Good. Very good. Can you read this, Christina?
It's
Please.
okay. Yes. The grammar of a language is the description of the ways in which words can change their forms and can be combined into sentence in that language.
Good. So do you agree with this?
Yes. Also
Okay.
the rules, I could add the rules of each language.
Very good. All right.
Grammatical and orthographic rules.
What about this one, Vivian? Can you read it?
Grammar is sometimes defined as the way words are put together to make correct sentence. It's a good starting point and an easy way to explain mistakes. Thus, I am a teacher is grammatical, but I am a teacher and I are a teacher aren't. We can also apply the term grammatical to small units. For instance, when to get.
For instance, when to go. I mean, all of those examples are incorrect, right? It's grammatically incorrect, but however, they all speak the same. It's very interesting. It happens in every language, but it's very interesting to see that how native speakers, whether they're Americans, Canadians, British, if they haven't studied in a school their language, they're going to make these mistakes. So be careful with that. In fact, parentheses, like I told you, I don't know if I told you, Vivian, or it was in a different group. The last week, teachers, Spanish or Mexican English teachers know more English than actually native normal English or native normal English speaking people. They do because we study. We need to study for our classes. Normal American student speakers or native speakers, they don't study. It happens the same to us in Spanish, right? We know Spanish from our house, from the streets, from the school, and but we actually don't know to the fullest Spanish. Okay. Well, sorry about my dogs. What could happen if we didn't have a good grammatical language, Cristina?
We're speaking incorrectly. Maybe we can express more or less our idea, but it's going to be wrong. We cannot say like, I go yesterday to the park. It's just incorrect.
People might understand you.
Yes.
But it's going to be very bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, good. So the term grammatical structure is a specific instance of grammar, a tense, phoneme, lexeme, etc. Examples: past tense, noun plurals, comparatives, index speech, etc. Okay. Bottom line, grammar is important in classes, yes or no? Okay, cool. A little bit of British humor. Can you read this, Christina?
Yes. So, who are you spending your birthday with? Don't end a sentence with a preposition. So, who are you spending your birthday with? Miss Grammar correcting is not knows with.
It's a British joke, but it is true. The rule says that you can't finish a sentence in a preposition. People do it all the time. For example, who are you talking to?
Okay.
That's totally incorrect. Es como el haiga in Mexico.
No.
Yes, it's very incorrect, but people use it. What are you talking about? That's incorrect. Well, this same question, who are you spending your birthday with? For example, who are you talking to? It's a very common question. Es como el haiga in Mexico. But what is the correct form then? No? Nobody knows. No, nobody. Okay. It's not really common. We use the question whom. To whom are you talking? That is the correct form. Nobody uses it. It's not really a common sentence in the street, but that's the grammar correct, right? Who's in line? Paola. Okay, cool. All right. So why is grammar important in classes? Without grammar and grammatical rules, Vivian, how would the classes be?
The classes what, sorry?
How would it be the classes if we didn't have grammar in classes?
What is the grammar in the class?
Yeah, like you're not teaching grammar. How would the classes be? Do you think they're going to be good classes?
Yeah.
Without grammar?
Yeah.
Let's say you don't have grammar in class. It's going to be good? Don't be nervous, Vivian. I can see you. No grammar. Así yo Tarzan to Jane. Would it be good in your class?
No, is it important the grammar?
Very good. No grammar, very bad classes, right? Paola, hello. Oh, Paola is busy. Está watching porn, Paola? Okay, so there are two main approaches when we presenting grammar. Number one is Cristina, please.
Number one, diving the whole English language into manageable bite-sized cookies and then introduce them to students one cookie at a time so that they gradually and systematically accumulate a complete picture of the language.
Very good. That's one approach. Divide the grammar into small pieces. Excuse me. The second approach, Paola, are you here? Or you're watching porn? Yeah, Paola's not here. Vivian, can you read number two?
Create and innovate when there's a language now and the how now it's not. Mainly when the doing speak and listening task, and where the students are helped with new language only when they already have some words of it.
Awareness.
Awareness of it and have curiosity or question about it.
Very good. So the second approach is called normally discovery approach, where you have in your classroom lots of flashcards, lots of images and cutouts and so forth, and then the students are discovering the grammar. It's called the discovery approach or the intuitive approach. Many years ago, Harmon Hall was good for it, not anymore. But which one is the best? Well, both are okay. However, the second one is not really good for your local circumstances. And I explain. The number two approach requires lots and lots of preparation. It requires flashcards, images, videos, a lot of material so you can have. Hello, Paola, you're here. Cool.
Yeah, sorry. It's because of I don't know what happened with my microphone. And I can hear you everything, but you can hear me.
Okay, so Christina was saying that you were watching porn. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
So anyways, Paola knows this. No worries about it. So let's focus on number one. Number one approach, okay? Number two approach, it's if you have 1 or 2 classes a day. And if you have maybe 10 students a day. Paola is working for a public school. She has groups of 56 students. So it's, if you have the chance to be a fortunate teacher with 1 class a day and 10 students, then number 2 is cool. But, the reality is that, como dijo mi amigo Franco Escamilla, tenemos lo que se llama hambre. The reality is that we work more than 1 hour a day. How many hours you teach, Paola, a day?
Today I work to 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I don't know. I never counted because I don't want to.
You don't want to stress too much. All right, I understand. 1 class at a time. Totally agree with it. Yeah, I'm still a teacher, but when I worked only as a teacher, I worked 9 hours a day, 9 classes a day. So yes, I understand. Anyways, let's move on. So number 1 approach, dividing the grammar into small pieces. Okay. So a little bit of humor. Oh, excuse me, no. First, how we teach grammar, it depends of 3 main points. Number 1, the institution. the institution promotes, one institution promotes the discovery approach, the number one approach. Like for example, Kipling, I don't know if you're familiar with the brand Kipling. It's a very famous brand in the country. And they have Tuesday grammar or Friday reading, right? It's different. Number two, the group. Paola, can you tell me, sorry, I have 4 pups. I'm sorry. Paola, is it different a group at 7 in the morning than the one at 4 o'clock?
Totally different.
Can you
In
tell
the
me?
morning, everybody wake up and they want to work most of the time. When it happens at 1 p.m., everybody wants to go out, go at home. So it's totally different.
What about the ones after recess?
Oops.
That's even worse, right? When she didn't.
Yes, it didn't work. But now think about when you are giving classes at 4 p.m., everybody wants to, everybody thinks about eating. So they didn't pay attention to you.
Yeah. My personal experience is that the ones at 7 in the morning are the best. They're always sleepy. they don't want to, they're fresh per se. But yeah, the worst is the last hour. They don't even pay attention to you anymore. And right after recess, they're all smelly and sweaty. Anywho, number 3, the program that you're following. For example, if you worked for me, I have Cambridge program, and it's a very conversational program. It's not really grammar. But if you work for another institution that teaches us or focuses on TOEFL, for example, it's only grammar. So it depends on many factors how the grammar is being taught in your classes. However, teachers, we need to learn the main tendency. Let me rephrase it. We need to learn the ideal way of teach grammar. And I say ideal because there is no such thing as a perfect class, because every situation is different. So we know the ideal or the perfect, the perfect strategy or the perfect competences to teach, and then you adapt it into your local circumstances. For example, Cristina is going to teach in a very cool class at a very cool school in El Pedregal or Polanco. Polanco, right?
There's different Vermonts, but this one is in Pedregal.
Pedregal, okay, cool. So it's a very nice school. I believe, I don't know, but I believe most of the time it's going to be small groups, and the level, they actually a good level. So it's very different on Paola's schools, for example. So you need to adapt the tendency into your local circumstances. So again, we learn the ideal, we learn the perfect way of teaching, and then we adapt it into our circumstances. Yes? Everybody, Paola, say yes. Tienen la cámara apagada. Es que no te has bañado. No te importa si no te has bañado, Paola, no te vamos a leer.
No, it's because this computer doesn't have camera.
Ay, sí, qué convenient. Jeez.
Not really, sorry.
That's okay, Paola. Anyways, Paola, Paola is getting the semi. Well, he has one semi from me, and he's getting another semi from me, right, Paola?
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally.
All right, so another British joke. Vivian, can you read it?
You rock, you're.
It's British. they're dead inside. Yeah, but yeah, it's supposed to be a British joke. I know. Excuse me. All right. So, what is the perfect way to teach grammar? It's going to be in 2 steps per se. The number 1, can you read this, Paola? The first point.
Yes. In order to present grammar, we need to understand it first out to ourselves, and then prepare any presentation.
Simple as that. In order to present a grammar tense, you need to know it you. You need to understand it you. You need to master it. Ah, pero pues si es present continuous, pues yo me almuerzo present continuous. It doesn't matter. Even if it's a very basic to your criteria, a very easy grammar tense, you need to study it first. Believe me, it's very important. In my career, I started teaching when I was 17. My first classes were like, ya sabes, danos una clase muestra para ver si sabes. Yo, claro, por supuesto. My first class fue que era verb to be. Y yo así de, yo me almuerzo verb to be. La neta es que it was a fiasco. So, no. Like it says here, never present a grammar structure without analyzing it. Avoid being too confident. Confident is good. Too confident is bad. It means that you don't care. Save your analysis for future classes and enhance analysis in your classes. Vivian, you see this picture? This image? There's going to be you, I promise that. At one point of your career. Todos pasamos por ahí, hija. It's going to be you in the future. It's going to be one school that says, a ver, Vivian, ¿puedes dar esta clase? Y tú, claro, sales de la dirección y tú así de, I don't even have idea what is this. We all went through that, okay? So don't worry about it. De hecho, Paola, Cristina, and Vivian, this is the difference that we discussed in the beginning of the class. This is the difference why Mexican English teachers know more English than native speaking people. Because we question ourselves. And we need to do it. Otra vez, como dice Franco, tenemos lo que se llama hambre. We need to work, we need to master it. Right? Como Paola me dijo ayer, ¿no? Cuando me dijiste que te dieron unas materias que tú ni al caso.
Totally right. Since, well, yesterday, I have to give one subject that I didn't know how to do it. So I have to study, but I guess I catch the attention from my students. But at home, I feel so bad because I need to study more because I didn't know it. I only know 1 week before. So I think isn't enough time to learn 5 different subjects to the English classes, totally different. The only thing that that helps to me is that I have a lot of activities and that helps me, but there is no reason to know how to teach that. I don't know what's the correct name of these subjects, but I'm going to say it in Spanish. Talleres de estrategias de aprendizaje. I don't know how you say that. Learn strategies.
Something.
I don't know how to say that, but was so difficult for me. And I was crying and I begged to the teacher, please let me come back to the English classes. I know I'm better than this, but he told me, you have to prove it that you are good in everything. So at the first, I started to get mad. And after I realized that I have to do my best and then pray God to come back to the English classes. Yeah.
Please God return to English. Yes, I know. It's Paola's example, Cristina and Vivian is going to be you in some point of your life. I mean, that's
in what grade was the subjects? In primary, elementary school, or older?
Paola?
It's in high school.
High school?
High school.
Oh my goodness.
So that's totally different because you have to learn a lot of strategies in order to give classes. And I think the English teachers, even though the other teachers think totally different, we have one characteristic totally different. We learn a lot of activities totally different to the other one. So when students take classes with us, they can notice the difference because we have a lot of strategies. I don't say that the other teachers doesn't have or don't have, but I don't know how can I explain that. We have a lot of activities and we know how to use it, and also but the most important thing in the English teachers is that we are thinking all the time to using different strategies, different activities, different games, and with that games we can catch to the students in order to pay attention to the class. So that thing I thought helps me, but you know.
No, and you're right, Paola. I mean, English teachers, we have that advantage because we need to get the students involved in the class, right? So we're very dynamic. We have pair work, group work. And the traditional teachers, I like to call it the Kool-Aid teachers. They just walk into the classroom and write on the board, right?
Yes.
I have even seen, for example, my daughter, she's in prepa right now, my oldest daughter, and she's in primer semestre, toda emocionadilla. Le digo, te voy a ver en un año, pero bueno. And anyway, she lives with her mom. Y ayer la fui a ver y me dice, no, es que me peleé con un maestro. Le digo, ¿por qué? Dice, es que me dijo, le dije, ¿me puede repetir? Y me dijo, no, yo vengo aquí a decir, si ustedes no apuntan o no saben, es su bronca. Don't do that. And we English teachers, we are not going to do that, never. But traditional teachers do that. So what you're saying is pretty cool, Paula. Thank you for mentioning it. Anyways, let's move on. So bottom line, grammar is important. Secondly, before teaching, a subject in grammar, you need to analyze and master the topic. And we're going to have this as an analysis. We're going to do an analysis of the grammar tense. And we're going to divide this analysis in columns or elements. The number one, Vivian. No te oigo, Vivian.
Sorry. Names. How is the grammar structure called? Be careful or restricting all names.
Very obvious, but it happens. I told you I started working when I was 17. When I was 19, I started working for the government in Jalisco. Anyways, my show class was like, can you teach present progressive? One show class to see if you can teach. Yo me almuerzo present progressive. I'm talking about 19 years old. I'm talking about like 22 years ago. I left the building y me puse a llorar como Paola. Because what is present progressive? No teníamos Google, nada de eso. Ustedes lo tienen bien así de Google, present progressive, y ya Google les pone 1.5 millones de páginas. No, we didn't have that. Paola it's been around as a teacher like me. We had the library. That was the thing that we had. So what is present progressive, Paola?
Right at this moment, I don't know. No, it's the action that you do it, start and continuous, but
present continuous, simple as that. Pero la coordinadora se quiso ver nice y me dijo present progressive, and it's correct. They're both names are correct. So the first analysis, the first element in the analysis is research or investigate all the names. Number 2, Cristina.
Concepts or language content. It's the most important part of the analysis. Assign a concept or a language content to the structure. When are my students using the grammar structure? What are the situations in which my students produce the grammar structure? Examples.
Pause there. Good. So the concept it's the most important part of the analysis. In what sense? The concept is when are your students going to use it? I give you an example. How much, how many? Right? Are you familiar with that? Countable, not countable? Kool-Aid teachers or traditional teachers walk into the classroom y ya sabes, ponen en el pizarrón 2 columnas, countable, no countable, how much and how many. Yeah, hello. Sí, ya ves, nada más te querías, híjole,
No,
choro.
I got the camera.
That's okay. That's okay. So anyway, so far so good. Two columns, how much, how many, el countable, no countable, y hagan oraciones. Right? The students will actually do it because they're students. Secondly, because they're forced to it. And thirdly, because you're the teacher, right? But guess what? The students are not going to learn when and how to use how much and how many. I'll give you an example. It's very different if you walk into the classroom, it is an, okay, guys, today or tomorrow, we're having a party. So we're going to the supermarket and let's buy our groceries in the supermarket for the party. A ver, ¿qué tenemos? Sugar, tenemos water, tenemos apples. Apples, plurals, yes. Sugar, plurals? No, okay, no plural. Y ya tienes ahí el flashcard de how many, how much. Y ya haces lo mismo. 2 columns, how much, how many, countable, no countable. But you have given a concept. So when the students leave the classroom, they're going to know that when they go to the supermarket, they need to ask for how much, how many, countable, no countables. You see the difference? I'll give you another example. Past tense. Kool-Aid teachers walk into the classroom, en el pizarrón, terminaciones de, verbos irregulares, regular verb, blah, 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 was, where, make sentences. The difference is when you walk into the classroom and say, okay, students, let's talk about your last best vacations ever. No, pues que Cancún, que bueno, fresas como Cristina, pues Europe, or so forth. Okay, so Cristina, tell us, in Europe, what do you do? Pues I visit Disneyland. No, visited because today or yesterday, no, pues yes, I went, and blah, blah, blah. You do the same, but you have given a concept to the grammar. See the difference? So remember, they answered these 2 questions. When are the Maya students using the grammar, and what situation Maya students produce the grammar? Cristina, yourself, the example, simple present, what would be a concept for that?
For simple present,
Yes.
we can make like a game and give them, for example, balls. So one kid has to.
Pause there. We're not talking about activities. What is the concept? Remember, how much, how many was going to the supermarket?
Yes.
Past tense, last vacations. Simple present.
Okay. Simple present, a game.
Routine.
Paola?
Is that routine? A routine activity?
Routines.
Okay.
Routines, schedule, what do you do weekends, everyday activities.
Okay, I understand now. Okay.
What do you do in the mornings? I wake up and I brush my teeth and blah, 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 blah. So you're going to do the same. Then, Cristina, then you do activities, pair work, where you given a concept or a situation and where your students are going to use simple present.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Now, worries not too much because the new tendency of the students' books are there. The concept is in the student book. So let's say the unit, normally the unit title is the concept. A trip to Las Vegas or Let's talk about famous people. That might be a concept, but if you don't have it, assign a concept. ¿Sí, bien? Cristina, Paola, good, all right. Number 3, Paola, 3 and 4.
Divide the analysis into these elements to analyze. Number 3, grammatical structure. Number 4, rules, spelling rules, pronunciation rules.
Very good. So in the third column, you're going to write the structure. In the fourth column, the rules, where the spelling rules and the pronunciation rules. Number 5, Vivian.
Expressions. Do you have expression in English grammar?
Very good. Exceptions. There's actually a saying, no? Los gringos dicen, there is always the exception for the rule, right? In English, we have exceptions for everything. Make sure to know all of them. And I'll explain why. English language comes from 5 different languages. Latin, 17% of the English language is Latin. A very old German dialect, 2 Nordic dialects, and 1 Romantic dialect. Entonces, pues, o sea, unlike Spanish, that only has, only 1 root, which is Latin, and then the mixture or the evolution with Mexican ethnics is only 2. English has 5. So they have exceptions for everything. Y no te va a faltar el malacopa así de, Miss, pero es que yo vi ayer en Friends, pero es que yo ayer vi en Stranger Things that, ¿y qué crees? They do. I'll give you a quick example. You was, is correct or incorrect? Cristina?
It's incorrect.
Paola?
It's incorrect. Grammatical is incorrect, but speaking rules, I mean, strict rules are correctly.
Yes, that happened to me, eh? Estaba dando a review en UWAS y levanta la mano, ya sabes, hay uno siempre que es castroso. Dice, profe, pues es que ayer en Bad Boys 2, Will Smith dijo UWAS. Y como ya me tenía así entre ceja y ceja, dije, no, estás mal y bla, bla, bla. ¿Y qué crees? Sí dijo eso. So, exceptions you need to know so you cannot be, off guard. Number 6, Vivian, 6 and 7.
Possible activity related to concept. Possible problem with presenting grammar. It's adapted to local student. Is it relevant to me students?
To my students, very good. Number 6 is the activities. Number 7 is the problems. Okay, is it adapted or is it relevant? Why is this important, teachers? Why is this important that you make sure that the topic or the concept that you're talking about is interesting for your students? Why?
Probably because they have to, it's the way or the easy way that they understand the topic and maybe they understand better.
Okay, they understand better. Any other reason? Okay, let's paraphrase the question. What would happen if you're talking about something that there is not interesting to students? Whoa.
They're not going to pay attention.
Thank you. They're not going to pay attention to you. Can you see my screen? Yes. They're not going to pay attention to you. And then they're going to break into Spanish, and then they're going to start talking to each other, playing games, and chaos and anarchy is going to be your class. So make sure that students are interested No, I gave you an example. No, Paola was here a couple of weeks ago about, I had a class about cricket. Was intermediate level. I followed the book, my mistake. You know what cricket is? No el animal. Cricket, the sport. Cricket is an sport, exactly, Cristina, everybody said the same face. Cricket it's with como una martillo que le vas pegando y pasa a través de unos aros. ¿Vieron Alicia en el País de las Maravillas? The Queen was playing cricket. Okay, that's very common in English, in England, in India, Mexico no. So I taught my class, it was chaotic, so I changed it into soccer. And instead of talking about some teams in England, I talk about American Chivas, and everybody liked it. So again, find a topic that is interesting to your students. Number 8 and 9, Cristina. Cristina, 8 and 9. Nala, ven.
Yes. Possible question for our students. Why, teacher? Because that's the way it is. Don't say that. A joker. Why? Groups might be different, although having the same English level game.
Very good. Number 8, this is very important. Anticipate. Anticipate the questions from your students. Now, in order to anticipate your questions or your students' questions, you need to know your students. So make sure that you know each one of your students. No digan, ¿y por qué, Miss? Pues porque así es el inglés. Don't say that. That's a very stupid answer to say. And then a joker, you will have an activity at the end because maybe you have a plan or you plan your class for 50 minutes and you finish 45 minutes early or 5 minutes early. Yes, those 5 minutes, if you don't have anything to do, it's going to be chaos and anarchy in your class. This is Nala. Sorry for the noise. She's sleeping. She's the baby. Okay. Something like this. This is mine. It's perfectible. Okay. So present continuous, excuse me, the name was present continuous. Que lo aprendí porque no sabía qué era. Affirmative in present form and present progressive. Concept, actions in progress, actions in process. So in the concept, teachers, you do a description and then the situation. Actions in progress, actions in process. Hay una diferencia ahí, ojo. What is the difference, Paula?
Action in progress is when, for example, I'm eating. I didn't finish because you didn't know how long I'm going to take to eating. And action in process could be when I finish the class, I am going to watch TV. Could be?
Not really. That's a different present continuous. I'll give an example, Paula. Do you like to read? Read books?
Yeah.
Okay, are you reading right now?
Yeah.
Which book?
This book is I don't know how it's analogies. Analogías.
Okay, so you're reading analogies. Okay, cool.
No.
You're reading right now analogies in this month.
Okay.
Are you reading right now? At
No.
this very moment?
No.
No, you're listening to Super Teacher Gerson, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so son las dos cosas. Uno es el progreso y otro es el process, okay?
Process, okay.
Concept, vacations, work, home, school. The structure is I'm playing soccer right now. She's sitting like her parents. The structure is the monitor, the subject, be, present participle, gerund, and complement. The rules, add ing to the verb. The verb finishes in E, delete E. CVC, esto es consonant, vowel, consonant. Double the last C, the last consonant. as in jogging, running, etc. No? The exceptions is dying. You understand this word? You know this verb? Dying in exceptions, no? When you paint your hair, you don't paint your hair, you dye your hair. Pero como se parece al verbo de morir, la regla dice que si termina en E, se quita la E. Pero como este es una excepción y es un verbo que se parece a otro, se le deja la E. Lo aprendí de la forma rara, ¿eh? No faltó el profe, pero es que si no es, you need to study it. Possible activities, family vacations, what out there? Okay. I had a big poster that I lost it, but anyways, a big poster with a seashore in the beach, bunch of people with names doing activities, no? O sea, Pablo is swimming, Andrea is eating, blah, blah, blah. So what are they doing? They need to talk about the poster. Possible problem, number one, y parentheses, teachers, Vivian, Cristina, and Paola. This is going to be your number one problem. Lack of vocabulary. Always. ¿Por qué? Because they're students. You know, they're not English teachers. Entonces, if you anticipate for the vocabulary, then the infamous question, Miss, ¿y cómo se dice? Va a ser menos. If you anticipate. Voy a hablar de beach. So I'm going to write verbs and actions, swim, ride, dance. Voy a hablar, ¿cómo se dice orilla? Pues de seashore. Piensa como alumno. So then, en la famosa, Miss, ¿y cómo se dice? Ya va a ser menos. Number two problem is maybe not relevant for students. Possible question, oh, yeah. In my poster, tenía hasta arriba una leyenda así como, a beautiful day under a shining sun. Y no faltó el chavo así, ya sabes, castroso. Profe, ¿pero qué no es the sun is shining? Y pues sí, tenía razón. ¿verdad? Entonces terminé por ponerle un tape ahí para que no me viera. Joker mimic the action is a game, even in case I ran out of time. Okay. So far, so good? All right. I'm going to give you in the following part, we're going to analyze a grammar structure and we're going to present it into the class. And I'm going to divide it in pairs because we're just three, right? But I'm going to give you a structure. Let me stop. Let me share. Let me see. Let me start chat. Okay, Paola, what was your homework que nunca hiciste? ¿De qué era?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. I'm being sarcastic actually. Okay, let's say Paola give you something easy. Present perfect?
Okay.
Present perfect. Affirmative. Okay. Luego, Vivian, what was your topic from the class?
Is the
Oh my Lord in heaven.
words.
What?
Why did you do strange questions, teacher?
Shut up, Paola.
I don't remember. 1 moment.
Okay, you have it anyways. Look for it. Cristina, let's see. Uno difícil. Veamos.
Difícil porque,
Pues nada más, pues date la bienvenida.
bueno, la novatada.
Exacto. Second conditional.
Okay.
Not really that easy. It's not that hard. ¿Te acordaste, Vivian?
Yeah, is the conditional first conditional
First condition.
relative clause and
No, just one. First condition.
Okay.
Está Paola, present perfect affirmative. Cristina, second conditional, and Vivian, first conditional. Yes? ¿Se abrió entonces el chat? Very good. Okay, so you're going to do an analysis. Ojo, no es una clase ni nada. Ni se malviajen. Es go to same Google, research the different names, the description, the structure, etcétera, etcétera, para que rellenen las columnas que hicimos en el ejemplo. Okay? All right. I'll give you a PP break. It's 7:05, creo. 7 o'clock.
7-2.
7 o'clock. So let's say 7:10, 7:15. PP break?
Okay.
Okay. So 7:15, I'll meet you here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ready, guys?
I'm still working on that.
Okay, okay. No, actually, I'm gonna give you some time. It's like we're back from the break.
I have,
Then yes.
I
Okay,
have
so
a
again,
question too.
yes, Paula.
We have to explain that in an oral form, or you want the presentation?
Well, I mean, making columns is very easy. You know, you can do an Excel sheet and then
Okay.
share it. I don't know if you can do it like something very, very simple. What do you
Okay.
think, Paula?
Okay, so give me a little bit time.
Yes. And so we're gonna have 10 minutes more to finish, okay? By the way, this is Bamba. This black spot in the screen is Mamba.
Oh, so cute.
And this is Lady. She's a Puwawa.
You love
Nose is
food.
tóxica. She has the personality of a Chihuahua.
Hmm.
Ella es rescatada y las dos negritas son familia.
They're so cute.
Thank you. I'm a, como dijo un día un alumno, you're a pug obsessed. Yes.
Yes, I think you are.
Okay, so by the way, I send the example of the analysis into the WhatsApp so you can follow it. Okay. All right, I'll give you 10 minutes. Ready, guys?
3 minutes more, please.
10 minutes more. Oh my Lord in heaven.
Yes.
Maybe 5 minutes. Go ahead. Come on, guys. You kept saying Google. But it's okay. I understand. 5 minutes. Okay, guys, ready? I'm sure you're ready already. So, thank you, Cristina, Paola, Vivian. Manifest.
Yes, teacher.
Good, very good. Okay, so everybody can share your screens. So, who wants to be first? No?
Okay. If
Oh.
I will be the first.
Okay, Paola, thank you for voluntarily be the first one. Off you go. The rest, listen carefully and tell me at the end if you agree or disagree. First of all, your topic is present perfect affirmative. Off you go.
Yeah. Can you see it? I think so.
Yes, Miss Paola.
Oh my God. Okay, this is analyzing. The name of this topic is present perfect. The concept is an action that has taken place at some specific time, or also you can say that indicate a link between the present and the past. Probably you can use vocabulary, but in my case, I choose movie, school. But there are a lot of vocabulary about places if you want to take it. Then about structure, I give some example. I have watched this movie before and with another personal pronoun. My aunt has taken classes in that school before. Why? Because in present perfect, we are going to see it in exceptions. We are going to use have a has according to the personal pronoun. Then we have rules. In rules, we have to use the most important two kind of verbs: regular, that ends in ed, in past participle, and irregular in different forms, and also in past participle, and until that. Then we have exceptions that I mentioned before. We are going to use have with the personal pronouns I, we, you, they, and with personal pronouns he, she, it, we are going to use has. That could be the exceptions. Then the possible activities, I choose a neighborhood. So my example is I have lived, I'm sorry, it's missing one D. I lived, oh, sorry. I have lived in Ojo de Agua since 1980, sorry. Then we have possible problems. I said irregular verbs and could be because they have different endings, so you have to memorize it. Then we have the possible question. For me is transitive verbs because that happens to me in the real life. When a student told me about transitive verbs, I have learned about that, but I never have the opportunity to practice. And I know now that I have to specify that there exist transitive verbs that are the verbs that could be regular and irregular at the same time. And that's because of the British language. Then why or when we are going to use for and since. For me, it's because for is going to be used for temporal period and since for specific concrete moment. And the joker, which is the same, mimic the action. And that's all.
Okay, Miss. Very good. Cristina and Vivian, comments? Attack. No comments? A ver, Paula, I do have some questions.
Yeah.
Concept, can you elaborate a little bit more on the concept? I mean, actions that has taken place at a specific time. That's a description, okay? You know,
Okay,
but
If I have to be more specific, I have to say that present perfect is an action that starts in the present, and sorry, because of the D, and finish in the past. I mean, for example, the example that I gave you, I have watched that movie or this movie before. That's for me because they don't have a specific time, just that start in the present but finish in the past.
Sure.
Or I don't know if that is
that's okay. Your description is, I would have done it differently, but that's okay. But your concept, you said movie school. Can you elaborate on that? Can you tell me
the grammar
why
structure?
you choose movie in school? No, and concept. Why did you choose move in school?
Because when, in my personal opinion, I don't know if I was correct, the most important thing for the students is to give examples with some places that they recognize. For example, school, movie, park, restaurant, something like that. So I can build a kind of construction from my sentences. That's why I choose that those kind of vocabulary about places.
Yeah, but maybe I'm not making the question correctly. Okay. Why the situation in a movie students will use present perfect? Can you give me an example?
For example, let me. Probably I could do this question for ladies. And I said, when you were young, I mean, like 10 years old, I don't know if you like to watch cartoons about Barbie. So when I remember that, I thought that I have watched that Barbie movie for 2 weeks or for, I don't know, or since 1999, I don't know. I don't know if that is the answer that you are looking for. Okay,
yeah, I mean, yes, it's a situation in what students will use it, okay? So yeah. If you say there is a movie, talking about movies, that's fine. If you say talking about school activities, that's also fine. I'm sure, just make sure that you have clear the concept.
Yeah.
If you have in your mind the concept clear, okay?
Yeah. When I give my examples, I can give you, I can give to the students vocabulary. If I'm talking about movie, if I choose that, I have to do a kind of review about popcorns, soda, candies, all that kind of vocabulary that they can help themselves to do the structure in a sentence.
Okay. All right. I'm. If you say that you have it clear, that's fine. But, okay.
I don't understand the last part that you said before.
Yeah, if you say that the concept is clear for you, that's fine. Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I understand, but I don't know if my students understand. Maybe I can give more examples to the students. Probably the school not or the movie no vocabulary, but the part could be more easy for them. For example, if I say that they are going to use a different games like a pool, like a ball, something like that, that has relation with some games, they probably understand better because sometimes we use vocabulary that they don't catch any idea.
Okay. That's my point. If you have one concept, stick to that concept. Okay.
Okay.
If you're talking about movies, it's movies only. Okay, and this particular class. Now, exceptions. Why do you say that have and has is an exception?
Because in the third person, we have to specify that we are going to use the the word has with the third person. That's going to be the exception. Meanwhile, with the rest of the personal pronoun, we are going to use have.
Okay, okay. That's not really an exception, okay? That's
No.
more like a rule.
Could be an exception, so the transitive verbs.
Okay, but that exactly. The exceptions are irregular verbs and the transitive verbs, exactly.
Okay.
Very good, yes, exactly. All right. Now, possible activities, that's fine. Very good. All right, thank you very much, Paola. And now let's listen to Cristina.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the name is second conditional or conditional type 2. The concept, I will write that is hypothetical situation and possible outcome. And in structure, we have two options. The first option, or the option number 1, is that we use if, then a condition phrase, and then would. And for the last part, the result or the outcome. I wrote resultado pues outcome. And the second option, you start with the outcome, then with the word would, then if, and you end the sentence with the part of the condition phrase. And I wrote like 2 examples. The first one is, if I won the lottery, I would buy a house. Or the other option would be, you would speak Japanese if you lived in Japan. Then in the rules, I wrote hypothetical and sometimes not possible situations that are not happening at that moment. Also to give some advices, and you can change the position and the meaning would be the same. Like, for example, if I have time, I would help you, or I would help you if I had time. The next part that is exceptions, I didn't find exceptions, or I don't know how to explain the exception. So I leave it in blank, but we can check it at the end. Oh my goodness. Possible activities, give them like special cases in order to write these kind of sentences, taking from these special cases. Then possible problems. For children would be get confused with the other conditionals, and sometimes the times with the verbs, like las conjugaciones, I forgot the word.
Conjugations.
Sorry, how did you say it?
Conjugations.
Conjugations. Because sometimes you could like have like these little mistakes that maybe you can understand the meaning, but grammatically it's not correct. And possible questions, maybe how to find or identify like a trick where you can identify when it's first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and don't get that mistake like in exams or tests. And Joker, we could maybe write some word sentences and they have to correct them. Like find the mistakes and correct them.
Okay, that's a good activity. Now, Ben. Now, Cristina, Paola, Miriam, any comments?
No, I like it. The only thing that I have the same doubt, like her, well, that she is going to be the exceptions because I don't have any idea, any clue. Sorry.
Okay, okay. First of all, Cristina, your concept, it's the description, but you're missing the concept.
Okay.
What are they going to talk about? You said hypothetical situation and possible outcome. Yes, that's the description. What could be a topic or yes that your students can talk about?
Okay. Maybe it could be like in my examples, languages. Maybe is the languages could be the concepts, and like this, you would speak Japanese if you live in Japan, or I would speak, I don't know, English if I were an English teacher, or I would speak sign languages if I was deaf. Maybe.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a concept.
Yeah, but
It's
it could be a better concept.
It's kind of difficult for the students. So premise number one, everybody, make it simple for your students. I like in your examples, the one if I won the lottery. What if that is your concept?
Yes, it could be more interesting for them.
Exactly. Winning the lottery. Be a millionaire. If I were a millionaire, I would blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
That's the concept.
Okay.
Now in rules, you're missing two. One, according to the rule, in second conditional.
Let me just.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. In rules.
According to the second conditional, the if and the sub is verb to be in past, but it's were for everybody. If I were, if he were, if she were, if I were millionaire, if she were millionaire, if he were millionaire, etc.
So it's if and where.
No, if the monito, o sea, subject.
If then the subject.
Subject.
And the subject is like a happy face. Okay.
Yes. And then happy face, exactly. And where for everybody.
Where for everybody? Okay.
Yes. If I were, if he were, if he were, if she were, if she were.
Okay.
And then the second rule is in the second conditional, you have three modal verbs, which is would, el otro es might, and could.
Okay.
So you need to explain that would, because they're all different, they have different connotations. Would means desire, per se. Might means options, and could means ability. I'll give an example. If I were a millionaire, I would buy a Ferrari because that's my desire. If I were a millionaire, I might travel the world, or I might visit my family. I don't know. If I were a millionaire, I could buy many cars because I can.
Yes.
Okay, that's the two. And the exceptions. The exceptions to the rule, there's only one that I can think of. We said that if plus monito or happy face plus where for everybody, right?
Yes.
In colloquial English, you can have I, he, and she, and it was.
Okay.
In other words, in the streets and informal.
Okay, I, he and she could be was if you are speaking like in a colloquial way.
Yes. Back in the 90s, there was a song very famous called More Than Words by Western no sé qué, no sé qué. I'll send the link so you can listen to it. And she says, or he says, if my heart if he was, even though a second condition. And the rest is pretty good. So you do have very good potential, Christina. Shows you need to work on your concept.
Okay,
Think as a student. Where can my students actually use second condition?
okay. Okay.
Okay. And finally, Vivian, just let me tell que tengo exámenes ahorita. Chavos, tengo exámenes, perdón, tengo clases, déjenme terminar, en 5 minutos les doy entrada. Okay, Vivian, you're next.
Yeah, I don't know the compartir my screen.
You share your screen?
I don't know, sorry. But
That's okay. Or you can send it to me and I share it. Or send it to Paola and she share it. Or to... That's okay. No, go ahead, do it.
or in the WhatsApp.
Sure.
Okay. Conditional one, the name only is conditional one or first conditional. And the concept is use the proposed future scenario to carry out or indicate to express the point. The structure is the if plus simple present and simple future. Use the S, depend the S. She, his, or it. Plus will or want plus verb. And the rule is using the rule the present simple or present future dependent pronoun. I don't know the exceptions. Maybe the possible problem is the student, I don't know, or I don't remember the two grammars, the present simple and present future. And the possible activities is the ask permission or when talking of rules. A possible question is how they use will or want or the concept.
Very good.
Joker is a talk about the future plans, for example, location or what way, the free time, etc.
Okay. Parenthesis, Vivian. Okay, remember, Cristina, your joker is not a joker. Your joker is an activity.
Yes.
It's a game. It's something that they enjoy.
Okay.
Same to you, Vivian. Joker is a game. Hangman, tic-tac-toe, whatever. It's a game that they can enjoy. Okay.
Okay.
All right, good. Vivian, can you tell me again the description and concept, please?
I use a proposed future scenario to carry out. Explain the conditional plans.
Yeah, but what is the concept? Same thing with Christina. In what situations? What situations can,
for example, maybe ask permissions or when talking of rules.
Very good. We discussed that last week, remember? You ask permission, that is a concept. You tell your father, hey, papá, quiero ir con mi novio acá y allá, y tu papá dice, if you do the homework, you will go. Very good. That's a very good concept. Excellent. Now, in the rules, you're missing the models. There are 3 models: will, can, and should. Will is future, can is ability, and should is suggestion or, okay?
Yeah.
Same example. Papá quiere con mi novio. Your father says, if you do your homework, you should go to your boyfriend. I don't think your father will say that, but yes, that would be. Okay, cool. I like it, Vivian. Very good. Send it to us in the WhatsApp, please. So we can have it, all right? Same to you, Cristina and Paola. Change it, improve it, and then send it to us, all right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's take a selfie for today. And on 1, 2. Good. I'll send it to you in a moment, all right? Thank you very much. And Paola, and I'll see you Thursday, all right?
All right.